But we have the U.S. Open this week and starting tomorrow. And, we like to talk a little golf here, but I'm going to let you take it away, Cricket, to start this off. Give us a little breakdown of the U.S. Open, and I've got some notes here as well.
Man, it's going to be a real interesting tournament. U.S. Open always known for the tough courses it's played on, the conditions, it just has very similar things on these courses that they play the U.S. Open on. It's always been known as one of the toughest majors there is. Playing this one at Los Angeles Country Club. Never hosted the U.S. Open. Hasn't hosted a PGA Tour event since 1940. And it's actually the first time the city itself has hosted the U.S. Open in 75 years. This course is crazy. You got 5 par 3s. You got 3 par 5s. You got 2 of the longest par 3s in U.S. Open history. The par 3, let's see here, 284-yard par 7th hole is a par 3 that's a monster. And then the 11th hole is a 290-yard par 3. Like I said, 2 of the longest par 3s in U.S. Open history. Then you turn around and you have the 15th hole that can be as short as 78 yards, man. You about to throw that thing out there to that one. And so, you go from 2 of the longest in U.S. Open history to one of the shortest. The 6th hole is a drivable par 4. So, spot to pick up maybe some eagles there. So, there's really a lot of spots in this course where you can take advantage of it and try to get some strokes back, but you can also get in trouble in a hurry. This is the first time since 2005. We were talking before we came on here. First time since 2005 that the roughs are going to be Bermuda, most of it. But then I was watching some stuff.
3.5-inch Bermuda grass.
Yeah. First time since 2005 when they played at Pinehurst No. 2 out there in North Carolina. But I was watching some stuff last night, man. A lot of these guys, these experts and everything, have walked the course and all that stuff. And apparently there's a lot of different patches of grass. Like, it's not just set sections of just straight Bermuda. Like, that's what's that. You can get unlucky or you can get really lucky in spots if you miss off the tee, because you might find yourself on one of these little – see, they said some spots are easy to hit it up. Some you're just going to be buried. So it's really going to just depend on your lie and kind of, you can't really prepare for that sort of thing. The key is obviously, keep it in the fairway. But a lot of key storylines. It's going to be pretty cool. The TV coverage on this thing on Saturday night goes all the way to 11 p.m. Sunday goes all the way to 10 p.m. So on the East Coast where I'm at, man, you're going to get some prime time finishes for that thing. It's been exciting, the first 2 majors, man. You got this is the first time since just recently the LIV, or I guess the personal investment fund from Saudi Arabia that funds LIV Golf. They have made a deal now with the PGA Tour. These guys have been on opposite ends of the spectrum, really feuding this thing for the last 18 months. Never really saw a resolution being possible. The commissioner, Jay Mohan, however you say his name, I don't know. This guy's been in the media a lot lately for the PGA Tour. He said there's no way these sides ever reach an agreement. And then out of nowhere, last Tuesday, I believe it was, we wake up, man, and all of a sudden CNBC releases this little thing on their website, and they've reached terms. The private investment fund of Saudi Arabia, they're going to be a big sponsor for the PGA Tour now. They're talking about how the LIV Tour may fold now. So a lot of different key storylines coming into this thing. And it's going to be exciting. I'm stoked, man. I want to hear what Paige has to say about the course and the breakdown. She'll know more about it than I do. But it just kind of – it seems like it's – and another thing, the first 2 majors have been rain-soaked. We've had to deal with some delays. The Masters was a total mess. The last what did we just play? PGA Championship.
The Open.
Yeah.
Was it the Open? No.
PGA Championship. We had
the
Masters,
PG. Yeah.
We had PGA Championship, and then and we hold on just a second, man. Sorry, I got a thought.
You're good, man. Let me tell you.
I'm sorry. God.
Oh, you're good. I got you. Here, we'll pull you down. I'll pull you down there for a second. So here's what I got for you guys. Whoops. The Matt Chatter says Paige talks about tennis, right? No, Paige talks about golf. She's a golfer. And she actually knows what she's talking about. He says breaking. Okay.
My bad, man. The old lady was headed to work, and I totally had the car keys in my pocket.
No,
that's my bad, y'all.
Good, hey,
Let me finish that last thought real quick if I can, man. Sorry. The first 2 majors have been kind of rain-soaked, dealt with that, and that obviously softens up the greens and all that stuff. Makes the courses much easier to play as long as you're not dealing with driving rain. But this week, no really rain in the forecast. It's going to be hard and firm the entire weekend. Makes that course a lot tougher. Those greens are going to be real firm, real fast. It's going to make this course a lot tougher. I honestly don't know that even the winner is going to shoot a real low number in this thing. This could be one where you see the guy that wins this thing be 3 or 4 under at the most. We've had U.S. Open in the past where the person that wins the tournament is actually, above par. So this could be one of those tournaments we see like that.
Yeah. So let me just start this out for the listeners out there. I am nowhere near a golf expert. All right. I don't claim to be a golf expert, just how I don't claim to be a baseball expert, but I know how to do some research and kind of I can bet it pretty well. But here's what I gathered from listening to all the talking heads. All right. I can go through and say all the scientific words for you here about, the amount of moisture in the course itself compared to what it's supposed to be. Bottom line is, this is a drier course. I mean, it's in LA. That's why they have the Bermuda grass, because it actually holds up well in those drier climates. Okay. And so these fairways are going to be firm. So the ball's going to, like, if you can get it into the fairway, you're going to get some good bounce and some good roll off of these. But what one golf expert that I was listening to talk about yesterday, he was saying he had a guy out there the other day, and he said these greens are like, they're so firm that it's like putting in a parking garage. So
I believe it, man. I got hardwood floors in my house. I feel like I'd be putting on those things, man.
Yeah, he says it's going to be very interesting seeing that. And everything that everyone keeps saying is you're going to have a golfer that can get creative. There's going to be golfers that are going to play real conservative on this very long course, right? The very long course. There's going to be people that play very conservative, but you want to bet on the players that you think can be creative. What I mean by creative, you got to be creative around the greens. There's a lot of opportunities to be had where some golfers might choose to just shoot over the green into a more favorable spot, use their short game to get it up get it up closer to the hole instead of trying to play it conservative and lay up. They might actually choose to go over the green. So, creative things like that you want to look at for a golfer. A lot of people say because this course is so long, you want to get a guy that can, drive that ball a country mile. That is true, but not true. You more so want the guy to be accurate. All right. You want him to be able to drive it pretty far, but accuracy is the big thing here, because if they get in the rough, we're talking about that Bermuda grass, it can get real rough. It's real hard to get out of that stuff. Like you were saying, there's so many different types of grass on this course. And it's one of those ones where people are projecting that you might see someone have a real bad day, but then things turn around real fast. Because if you got those golfers that are either having really, really good days or really, really bad days, this is that course where it can swing one way. Right. So a guy could be, shoot +4 the first day, and then the next day you see him shoot 6 under the next day because they got real aggressive. And they got aggressive and it went their way. Some other notes that I wrote down here. You were talking about the course. Listen to this. You were talking about hole 15, that par 3. It can be anywhere from, I believe it was like 78 yards to 120 yards. So
how big is this green? Green's
I don't know.
Huge.
I have no idea. I haven't looked at it yet, but it's just, but here's how wild it is and how you've just got to be ready hole to hole. Every hole is going to be different and a unique style of play, which opens up when we talk about creativity. These golfers can get real creative. Hole 14 is a 623-yard par 5. Then you go to hole 15, which is one we just talked about, which is the 78 to 120 yards. Then you turn around and go on hole 16, and it's a 550 par 4.
You can about carry your putter from the 14th green to the 15th tee box, man. And
yeah,
that putter.
How crazy is that? Those are just so different.
Hey, cool little tidbit. The Playboy Mansion sits right above hole 13. Is green.
Oh,
Playboy Mansion
really?
perched right above hole 13's green right there. So
wow,
that's pretty. And also, Hugh Hefner never owned he never had a membership to this country club. So, how you gonna have your house on the 13th green, man? Not have a membership? Apparently, this club, this course is like really private back in the day, and a lot of guys. I guess it's part of the reason why they haven't hosted some of these bigger events and stuff like that. I don't know, but it's kind of a tight knit group. If you're not in, you're not one of the boys or whatever. So I guess Hugh wasn't. If Hugh can't get in, man, we got no hope.
I didn't picture Hugh as much of a golfer though.
That's fair. Hugh had other things going on.
So we also got last 3 holes on this course. The combined yards for the last 3 holes on this course, 1,545 yards. To put that in perspective, your normal PGA course is like 3,500 yards total. So this is 1,545. It's a huge chunk of what a normal course would be. This is pretty close to what these 3 holes distance wise is pretty similar to what a normal 6 holes on a PGA course is. So This is a long course. But like I said, if you got a guy that can drive it and can be accurate and hit those fairways and get some favorable rolls, they could have some good days on here. But it's crazy. It's a par 70, and we got this massive course that lengthwise it's going to be very interesting. I think we can see a lot of players. This is going to be a good live betting course because we're going to see a lot of up, and I think we're going to see a lot. I don't think we're going to see one guy or two guys kind of run away with it. I think it's going to be up and down kind of event, which we could take advantage of. Do you have anything else to add before we pull up some odds and stuff?
Yeah. I was gonna throw a few key storylines out this week that will be going on there. For the 9th time, old lefty Phil Mickelson going for the career Grand Slam, trying to become only the 6th player to ever do that. I don't think he's going to be able to, but he played really well at the Masters, man, getting that tie for 2nd there. So lefty maybe still got some good golf in him. I'm sure he would love to do it this week than the first major since the old unification of LIV and all that stuff. But he got a shot to go for that thing. Defending champion Matt Fitzpatrick coming back trying to defend this thing. He won it last year, and I can't remember where they played it last year. But anyway, that course last year, he had won the U.S. Amateur at back in 2013, so he's one of the favorites going in and wound up playing really well. But only twice since 1990 has the defending champion even finished in the top 10 the following year at this tournament. Tiger did it back in 2009, and Koepka did it in 2019. But and actually, the last 2 champs, Fitzpatrick from England and John Rahm from Spain, the last 2 U.S. Open winners, only once since 1910 has there been at least a 3-year drought without an American winning the U.S. Open. So some key things there to kind of keep an eye on this weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun, man.
I always wonder about those. I was thinking about this last night. Okay, so like the Masters played at the same course, right? So when you look at history, okay, that makes sense. But since not only is this a different course, but this course hasn't been played since what was it, 18 years or something like that. For this tournament,
they held they have not this course. This course, like I said earlier, the U.S. Open has never been hosted at this course. They haven't hosted a PGA Tour event since 1940. Now in 2017, they hosted the Walker Cup, I believe they call it, kind of a one of those team matchups, kind of like the Ryder Cup type deal. And so they did host that in 2017, but have not hosted. But the city itself hasn't even hosted the U.S. Open in 75 years. It's only been hosted in California 15 times.
That being said, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, okay, so how much do we look at history? They're great things to look at and stats to have, but I'm like, this is a completely different course, completely
right. It kind of
all those year to year,
Yeah, well, the same point on the foreign players winning a couple in a row. Of the 15 times it has been played in California, a foreign-born player has only won twice. So I think when I look at some of the things, I'm going to be looking at. It's not even a homer pick, but I think I'm going to be looking at some of the Americans to do some things this weekend.
Yeah. Hell yeah. It's a U.S. Open after all. Come on.
That's right. USA.
Okay. So let's look at some of the odds real quick that we have up here.
Matt Chatter, what jersey? I'm wearing a Mighty Ducks jersey. Matt Hatter, school Mighty Ducks. Charlie Conway, man, the captain.
Hell yeah.
What's going on right now, man?
It's awesome. So here's your favorites to win it. We'll just go through a few of the top ones. We got Scotty Scheffler favorite at plus 650, John Rahm at plus 1,000, Brooks Koepka at plus 1,200. Rory, I feel like Rory's always up in here. Everyone gets all hyped up on Rory.
Well, he's hit or miss. He played well the last one. He'll probably miss the cut in this one.
At 1,600.
Masters, he did it, doinked it, and just Rory's got to. I hope I want Rory to get it together. I really do. I'm pulling for Rory. He's been one of those supporters of the PGA Tour the whole time. He's been one of the big advocates, the poster child for kind of speaking out against LIV and all those guys leaving. And so I want him to come out and have a good showing this weekend. I really, really do.
I agree. It's always fun when you get those big names, those popular golfers in the mix there. Speaking of them, I think Spieth could have himself day. He's at plus 2,500. He's up there.
I like him.
One of the ones that I think is like, you never know, he's hit or miss, but like good value bet. You got Dustin Johnson down here at 45-1. I mean, we're talking about a guy that can drive the ball. If he's on right and stays healthy throughout this whole thing, Dustin Johnson could be in the mix. I mean, that seems like a good little sprinkle bet to me.
I'd like to I'd sprinkle a little bit. That one, or I'm probably going to stay away from DJ this time just because he hurt me bad in the last one.
Yeah,
but Bryson DeChambeau, a guy
that's one
can
too.
Crush it off the tee, man. So maybe it'll drive that drivable 6, that par 4 there. So these guys can get on the green on that 6, man. You're obviously
he won it.
You're in birdie, but eagle putts mean a lot, man.
And he won. Well, I know it's a different course, but DeChambeau won it a few years back. I think in 2019, something like that.
2020, I think, and he won it by like
2020.
6 strokes. That actually may have been the PGA Championship. I don't know. Whatever one he won in 2020, he won by like 6 strokes or something. So.
Yeah, and so I mean, 50 to 1. I mean, especially a guy that can drive it a country mile. I mean, 50 to 1, sprinkle a little bit on that.
I like Hideki Matsuyama too, man. He's down there with some good odds, about 60 to 1 on your money, and it's a guy that can, if he gets hot and gets in a rhythm, he where's he at? Yeah, plus 6,000 right there for Hideki Matsuyama. I like this guy, man. He always seems to kind of sneakily be around the top 10 at the end. That might be something you want to look at too. You don't have to pick these guys to win, man. You can bet on them top 10, top 5, and those odds and stuff like that. I mean, you're going to want to go different unit sizes and stuff like this, though, guys. You're not going to want to bet the same on something plus 6,000 as something that's plus 120. You know, you got to tweak that a little bit.
And Hideki Matsuyama, he was on that Ryder Cup team that won. So he played well at this course.
I like Hideki, man. Hope he has a big weekend.
All right. Do you want to get into the bets that we have for the people, or do we want to go to Paige?
Go ahead and go to Paige. Like I said, I've got a few of mine, but I'll have a lot of stuff. Guys, come and check us out at sportspicks.locals.com for the best values in sports handicapping. I always put stuff up for the majors. Have done well in the last 2. But, I'll be able to reshare this video right here, this segment with some of our subscribers over there. But on those posts, I always type up all my futures, and I do matchup picks every single day. So I'll make sure and get all that stuff up for you. But go there and check us out, man, at sportspicks.locals.com. We'd love to have you.
Matt Jetter says, great call, Cricket, going to Paige. And here's Paige.
Y'all don't want to hear us, man. Let's talk to Paige, man.
Paige, here she is. She posted this yesterday. She said she's feeling very patriotic, thought this was the perfect picture to honor the week, and a little news clip to her bets and whatnot that she has for you over there. But we do have a video from Paige here. Let me turn this
America.
Oh shoot! Hold on.
I was like, we're just gonna. I mean,
I'm sure I got distracted,
man. We'll sit here looking at this picture, man. They don't care.
Everyone, happy Major Week! I'm so excited for the U.S. Open, so let's break it down. LACC, designed by George Thomas, who also did Riviera Country Club, and that's important. So look for players who played well at Riviera, and they should have a good go at LACC. It's a par 7.
I did not know. Did you know that? The guy that designed
I did actually. I was going to say that about him a minute ago. I was going to say George something. I wasn't sure if it was Thomas, but yeah, that's one thing. A point I did want to make before we get back into this. Like, the architecture of golf is apparently really changing quite a bit. With some of these courses being revamped, they're going with some different strategies and stuff of how they set the courses up and how they lay them out, obviously making them a little bit longer, different types of grass and stuff like that. But apparently this George Thomas guy is a big time player in the architectural game in the future of architecture in golf. And so it's a big deal. And yeah, I did hear them compare it to Riviera there. So like I said, guys that have done well there, man, look at those guys this weekend.
Okay. Good to know.
70 playing over 7,400 yards. It's a beast of a golf course, but it won't play as long as it reads on the scorecard because of those firm, fast fairways, and they have a lot of slope to them. But there is a par 3 that's 290.
I forgot to add that. I had that in my notes of 290-yard par 3.
Oh, no, I did say that. It's the 11th hole, man. It's a monster. It's 290, and then hole 7, I believe it is like 278. Literally going to be 2 of the longest par 3s in the history of the U.S. Open. So kind of crazy there. That's probably going to be the 2 holes. That, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, go ahead.
I just say it's going to probably those 2 holes right there are probably going to make or break a lot of guys' games, because I mean it'd be easy to. You can't, if you don't stay in the fairway, get off the side there, man. It might be easy to hang up a 5 and a double bogey on that hole, and it could definitely get your round kind of spiraling out of control.
Yeah, I feel like if you're in the rough in a bad spot on that hole, you're hoping for a 5.
Exactly. Yeah. Up and down is not easy to do in those spots.
Oh.
First time hosting the U.S. Open, but they previously hosted the 2017 Walker Cup. The U.S. was victorious over Europe, and who was on that USA team? Scotty Scheffler, Colin Morikawa, and Maverick McNeely.
And that's another reason why you see Scheffler as one of the favorites, not only because he's one of the top golfers in the world, but one of the favorites to win or is the favorite to win this tournament.
That guy is just so unreal to me, man. He never, ever, it doesn't matter if he has, like, he doesn't have many bad rounds. I had made a note before the last major, he was shooting an average of 70.42 That was his average score in major rounds. That's the best mark of any of the. There's been just over 600 golfers that have played in 50-plus major, and that is the lowest score of any of them. Scotty Scheffler never, ever wavers, man. Doesn't matter if he has a bad shot or a good round, bad round. You never see his expression change. The worst round he had at the PGA Championship last month, you see him after the 18th, he puts it in, and his caddy walks over, and he's just like, oh, shucks, man. Be all right. We'll get him tomorrow. And he came out and shot a 65 the next day. Scotty Scheffler's a beast, man.
How pissed do you think people are at me right now for pausing it here and not on Paige?
Right. No shit, man. I am. I'm a little bit of irk.
Before we continue, JM Cassidy over on Rumble in the Rumble chat says, Merca. Hell yeah.
That's
Hell
right.
Illy. There's some good vibes on this golf course. The favorites going into this week, no surprise to absolutely anyone, Scotty Scheffler, Jon Rahm, and Brooks Koepka. Another huge favorite.
I mean, you got guys, all these guys, what do they have in common? They can all drive the ball real far and fairly accurate. That's why, usually I hate betting those top, the favorites, because granted, you're getting 10-1, but you're not like one, if one of these, let's say I pick Rahm, which I did pick Rahm, he's at 10-1. Let's go. Let's say shoots 2 over the first day. Well, I could get Rahm probably at like 15, 18-1 after that, depending on where the lead's at. Man. But at the same time, Rahm could go out and be in the lead, and then you're going to get him at like 3-1.
Well, and then look for stuff like that, guys. Some of these guys that are the bigger favorites going into this thing, it's rare that they may come out and getting acclimated to that golf course and stuff in the first round. I mean, they're playing practice rounds throughout the week, but it's a lot different than going out there and there being, however many thousands of people around watching every move you make. So they might have to get acclimated to that first round. So if you see some of these bigger dogs kind of have a struggling first round, look to hop back, and maybe not even to win it, but you can get some good odds on to make top 5 or top 10 even at that point if they really shit the bed in the first round. So monitor that, man. There's going to be some good opportunities for, I guess, in-game or in-tournament betting.
And Rahm's like the king of parring the first round and then just going on a tear for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah. He's solid.
Is California boy Max Homa. He played well at Riviera, remember, same course architect, and he shot a 61 at LACC before. Not a bad pick. It is going to be a fantastic week of golf with amazing play. Comment down below who you think is going to win this week.
And there we have it.
Hello, everyone.
There we have it. That is our message from Paige there. Thank you, Paige. Some good tips there.
I can't believe we haven't
summarized it better than us.
Since somebody else has requested it yet, man. I want to see Mommy Milkers.
Oh, okay. All right.
I mean, since you guys are dropping the ball this morning, I guess we'll watch it now, man. Golly, yeah. I thought that's about like a more.
You got some tickle bitties and you don't know how to swing? Well, I'm here to help you. Next, you want to tuck your right arm and lay your left arm on top of that mommy milker. Bombs away.
Bombs away.
There we go.
That's right.
Oh man. So a couple things that I want to point out. So this is what I bet on. Now you were talking about unit size for this. And my card's up over at sportspicks.locals.com. I just want to give out a couple of these on here. Outright winner. I only put a half unit on each of these. I did a few of them here. Yeah, I did a half unit just because, and I like to go with like some longer odds. So just because, like, let's say you got a guy, let's say I took DeChambeau at 50-1. Let's say it's him and someone else, and it's going to come down to those two, right? More than likely. Well, then I can bet the other guy live, and I've got a good cushion there of stuff. So I did take DeChambeau at 50-1. I took Koepka 13-1, Rahm at 10-1. My guy Spieth, I think Spieth can.
I'm with you
make
there.
Some noise here, and then you get 26-1. I think he's 25-1 now is what I saw. And then I took Dustin Johnson just because it was just a 45-1. I mean, why not? Why the hell not? At half unit on those.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yeah. Anything I like to on these right here because golf is such a wide open game and anything can happen. Any of these guys can come out and shoot a 65 or whatever. But I usually do 25% on anything over 10-1. And the ones that the couple that are under 10-1, I usually like to roll with Scotty Scheffler just because I think it's kind of foolish not to put a little bit of money on him just as good as the guy's played in the last 5-6 years, He's always been in the mix. He's only missed the cut in one major since he started really going on this tear. And I always like to sprinkle a little bit on that. But that's a half unit for me, anything under 10-1. But anything over 10-1, I like to do 25%. I'm usually going to throw 5 or 6 guys at you. And, gave the winner. over on my sportspicks.locals.com picks last time. I had Koepka at 22-1, I think it was. So we had him really big at in the Masters at 40-1. I think he was at plus 4,000 in that one, and had it, just let it slip away at the end there.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, you gotta. It's kind of foolish.
But you can live bet. You can live bet hedge.
Yeah. It's kind of foolish to think you can just. I mean, it can happen. You're gonna if you pick one guy and fire on it, and fire your whole unit on it. But why not pick 4 guys and do 25%? And you're still gonna spend the same amount of money. And if any of those guys win, you're gonna be profitable. So,
yeah, and we're I mean, golf's one of those fun sports that like you don't even have to bet it pregame. You can bet a random hole, a random player. You can bet a round. You can just hop in live anytime. I like it. Like if I can watch it, I'll hop in live, and as I'm watching it, like whatever holes are on or whatever player that I'm following, I'll be like, okay, this next hole, what are his odds to get a birdie? Boom, and then they have all sorts of bets up like that. It's great. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is for sure, man. But like I said, make sure if you are planning on betting on a winner or something like that, make sure and get some of those bets in today before it starts tomorrow. Because if somebody like DeChambeau that is 50-1, if he comes out as the first round leader tomorrow, that's going to plummet to like maybe less than 20-1 or less. So go ahead, and if you're going to think you're going to want to bet on this thing and sweat it, go ahead and sprinkle a little bit and do that today before it gets started tomorrow.
Exactly. Some bets that I did make, round 1 bets head to head. I kind of just went with some value stuff and fading, just because golf. I mean, how many times do we see the favorites and they I mean, it's rare that the favorite wins the tournament, but sometimes they get off to a bad start. So I was looking at some of these value bets in my mind, going along with the theme of, hey, we need a guy that could crush it. Now, it's high risk, high reward, just because like DeChambeau could come out and crush it, but he could also crush it into the rough and have a terrible day. But I did take DeChambeau to over Hatton at plus 125 for the first round.
Do you? I mean, I like these matchups, these round matchups. I always release those each day too, over there, and I like the 2-ball. I've got a thing, man. There's a post up there for any of you guys that don't know about betting golf and everything. There's a lot of people. Excuse me, guys. A lot of people don't know a lot about how to bet golf. There's so many different ways you can. I've got a post up over there. I put it up twice now. I put it up for the Masters, and I reposted it last month for the PGA Championship. You might have to dig back in the post for a few pages or whatever, but it'll be there. It's just Crick's Corner, Understanding Betting Golf. Man, it's a layout of all different kinds of ways to bet golf. If you don't know, get on there and read that thing, man, because that's why I put it out there for, so you guys can understand it. Don't ever bet on something you're not sure about. Always, that's just throwing money away. You might get lucky a time or two, but if you're constantly betting on stuff you have no idea how it works, then you're going to lose money in the long run. Don't do that, man. Don't just give that money away to them. They make enough money, those books and stuff right here. So don't just give it away. Make sure you know about what you're betting on. And if you want to check that out over on the site, I got that up for you guys. Just go check it out and be a little more informed before you put some money on this thing.
Look at these other matchups that we have. So I have 5 matchup picks for today that you can go look at the rest of them at sportspicks.com or sportspicks.locals.com. And I got a top 10 play and a top 20 finish play for you over there. But look at the matchups we got. We got John Rahm and Scotty Scheffler paired up today. That is going to be for the first day. Yeah, that's going to be great. And then I'll
be up at 8 o'clock watching that one.
Yeah, and then the other one that I think everyone's going to be pretty excited about, Koepka and Rory.
Tell you one I want. That's a good one. One I like right there is Tony Finau and Hideki Matsuyama. That's going to be an exciting one. I like Hideki at even money right there, man. I like Finau. I do.
Spieth and Cantlay. Look at that.
Oh, that's a good one too, man. Both those guys are picked as dark horse winners of this thing. But I like old Tony Finau, man. But he just ain't been able to put it together lately. You remember a couple years ago, he's just like celebrating that hole in one he hit in one of them tournaments, like dislocated his ankle right there, and then just popped it back in place right there on the fairway and stuff.
Just kept walking.
I like that guy. I don't know if you've watched any of that Full Swing on Netflix, the documentary. It's good if you haven't, man. If any of y'all haven't, on Netflix, there's a documentary series. It's called Full Swing, and they kind of follow these guys. I think they follow Spieth and Justin Thomas. They got Koepka episode. There's one with like,
I heard about it. I remember it was. It's stuff, fairly new, right? Yeah, I just never got. Yeah. Okay. I saw previews for that. It looked great.
Yeah, it just came out a couple months ago, but good stuff, man. It really is. You could see that like kind of a inside look at these guys' lives and how they deal. Don't get me wrong, a PGA Tour golfer's life is not all that bad. It may seem like they're frustrated having some rough days and all, but these guys most of the time just flying on private jets, drinking champagne, hanging out. So it's pretty cool. Check that out if you have not. Full Swing on Netflix.
We got Cameron Young and Dustin Johnson. Wow. That's gonna be fun too.
Cam Smith's another guy I'm watching this week. For the record, I had a really struggled last month at the PGA Championship, won his first major last year at the Open Championship over there at St. Andrews. And Cam Smith's a guy I'm looking to bounce back. Being another one of those LIV guys that kind of bailed early on and has been in the talks, but he plays really well when he gets rolling. And I look for a big bounce back. Like I said, didn't do too well in the PGA Championship. Wound up coming back a little bit in the later rounds, but really struggled early on. And I look for him to bounce back and have a good week.
Nice. Do we have anything else left for the U.S. Open? You got anything you want to end on, or
no? Like I said, I'll put all my picks and stuff up there later today. They'll be up there so you can go. It's easier kind of because I'm going to have so many different picks and different plays and stuff. It's easier to have those in writing, be able to see them right in front of you than me just tell you all of them. So I'll type those up later, and you'll be able to go there and if you want to go check those out and look at them and see. Like I said, we've done well so far in the majors this year. Going to try to keep it rolling this weekend.
And if you any of the viewers out there want to want to work on your swing so you're good enough to make the U.S. Open next year, Paige has got some tips for you.
You got some tickle bitties and you don't know how to swing? Well, I'm here to help you. Next, you want to tuck your right arm and lay your left arm on top of that mommy milker. Bombs away?
Bombs away.
And there you have it, people. Go over to sportspicks.locals.com. That's sportspicks.locals.com. You get access to the full card. Plus, like we said, every day there could be live bets to be made before the next round. So you'll get a little bit of everything plus all the other stuff. So go check it out. Sportspicks.locals.com.
Yes, sir. Let's talk about Stephon Diggs a little bit, man. We didn't even discuss that at all. What do you know about this thing? Tell me.